In Think Like a Freak, Stephen D. Levitt and Stephen J. Dubner, the authors of the popular book Freakonomics, offer a new perspective on problem solving. They argue that by applying unconventional thinking and embracing curiosity, anyone can tackle difficult challenges and discover surprising solutions. This book summary will explore the key insights and takeaways from Think Like a Freak and show how you can use these principles to improve your own problem-solving skills. Introduction. Think Like a Freak is a book written by Stephen Levitt and Stephen Dubner, authors of the best-selling book Freakonomics. The book aims to teach readers how to think outside the box, challenge conventional wisdom, and solve problems creatively. It is based on the idea that conventional thinking often leads to conventional results, and the only way to achieve better outcomes is by thinking differently. The authors use engaging stories and real-life examples to illustrate their points and provide practical advice on how to apply their ideas to everyday life. This book is suitable for anyone who wants to improve their problem-solving skills, whether they are a business professional, a student, or just someone who wants to think more creatively. In this article, we will provide a summary of the key chapters of Think Like a Freak and offer an analysis of the book's strengths and weaknesses. Overview. Think Like a Freak is a fascinating book written by Stephen D. Levitt and Stephen J. Dubner, the same authors who penned the bestseller, Freakonomics. The book is a guide to unconventional problem solving and critical thinking. It encourages readers to think outside the box and question the status quo in order to find innovative solutions to problems. The authors offer several real-life examples to demonstrate the importance of thinking like a freak. They encourage readers to explore the hidden incentives that shape people's behaviors and choices. By doing so, they help readers develop a new way of looking at the world, which enables them to solve problems in ways that others can't. Think Like a Freak is an engaging and insightful read that provides readers with practical tips for thinking differently and approaching problems in new ways. The book is perfect for anyone who is interested in personal growth, problem solving, or just wants to learn how to think differently. Summary of key chapters. Chapter 1. What does it mean to think like a freak? The authors begin by defining what they mean by thinking like a freak. They explain that this means approaching problems with a unique and unconventional mindset instead of following traditional or common methods. They also discuss how conventional thinking can sometimes lead to poor decision-making and ineffective solutions. The authors provide examples of freaky thinking, such as the creation of the television show Seinfeld and the success of the company Uber. Chapter 2. The 3 hardest words in the English language. This chapter is about admitting what you don't know. The authors discuss how many people are afraid to admit when they are uncertain or ignorant, and how this can prevent them from learning and discovering new things. They argue that it's better to admit what you don't know and be open to learning from others. They also provide examples of how admitting ignorance can lead to breakthroughs, such as the discovery of the Higgs boson particle. Chapter 3. What's your problem? The authors discuss how important it is to define the problem you are trying to solve before attempting to find a solution. They explain that often people jump straight into trying to find a solution without properly understanding the problem they're trying to solve. They provide examples of how defining the problem can lead to more effective solutions, such as the story of how the city of Bogota reduced traffic congestion by focusing on the root causes of the problem. Chapter 4. Like a bad dye job, the truth is in the roots. This chapter is about finding the root cause of a problem, rather than just addressing the symptoms. The authors explain how sometimes problems can be caused by underlying factors that aren't immediately obvious, and how it's important to dig deeper to find these root causes. They provide examples of how this approach has been used successfully, such as in the case of a medical mystery where a patient's symptoms were eventually traced back to a rare genetic disorder. Chapter 5. What would Sir Arthur Conan Doyle do? This chapter is about using data and evidence to solve problems. The authors explain how important it is to collect and analyze data in order to make informed decisions, rather than relying on intuition or assumptions. They provide examples of how this approach has been used successfully, such as in the case of the Chicago Police Department using data to predict and prevent crime. Chapter 6. Think like a child. In this chapter, the authors discuss how valuable it can be to approach problems with a childlike curiosity and willingness to ask questions. They explain how sometimes adults can become too set in their ways and stop questioning things, which can prevent them from discovering new ideas and solutions. They provide examples of how this approach has been used successfully, such as in the case of a group of economists who used a child's toy to solve a complex mathematical problem. Chapter 7. What can you learn from a cheesy poof? This chapter is about using incentives to motivate people. The authors explain how people are often motivated by rewards or punishments, and how this can be used to encourage certain behaviors. They also discuss how incentives can sometimes have unintended consequences, and how it's important to consider all the potential outcomes before implementing an incentive program. They provide examples of how this approach has been used successfully, such as in the case of a program that encouraged people to recycle by offering them rewards. Chapter 8. Marginal Revolutionaries. The authors explain that small changes can often have a big impact. They provide examples of how small, incremental changes have transformed industries and societies. They advise readers to look for ways to make small changes that can have a big impact, and to be patient in waiting for the results of these changes. Chapter 9. The 3 hardest words in the English language. The authors argue that admitting "I don't know" is an important step in solving problems. They explain that admitting ignorance allows people to learn and grow, and can lead to new insights and ideas. They advise readers to embrace their ignorance and use it as a starting point for learning and problem solving. Chapter 10. What do King Solomon and David Lee Roth have in common? The authors explain the importance of framing and how it can influence the way people perceive information. They provide examples of how framing has been used to influence people's decisions, and argue that people need to be aware of framing effects in order to make rational decisions. They advise readers to be skeptical of the way information is presented and to try to see beyond the frame. Chapter 11. How to persuade people who don't want to be persuaded. The authors explain that people are often resistant to persuasion, but that there are techniques that can be used to increase the likelihood of persuasion. They advise readers to find common ground with the person they are trying to persuade, to use vivid examples and stories, and to acknowledge the person's point of view. They also emphasize the importance of persistence in persuasion. Chapter 12. What's the upside of quitting, revisited? The authors revisit the idea of quitting and argue that it is important to quit in the right way. They advise readers to quit strategically, by quitting things that are not working out and focusing on things that are more likely to lead to success. They also emphasize the importance of persistence and hard work in achieving success. Analysis and evaluation. Think Like a Freak is an insightful and thought-provoking book that provides readers with a fresh perspective on problem-solving and decision-making. The author's unique approach to thinking outside the box and challenging conventional wisdom is a refreshing take on the self-help genre. One of the most significant aspects of the book is its practicality. The authors take abstract concepts and apply them to real-world scenarios, making it easy for readers to understand and apply the principles in their own lives. This approach sets Think Like a Freak apart from other self-help books that often provide vague or overly simplistic advice. Another standout feature of the book is its humor and engaging writing style. The author's witty anecdotes and amusing examples make for an entertaining read that keeps the reader engaged and invested in the content. Think Like a Freak is a valuable resource for anyone looking to improve their critical thinking skills and approach problems from a fresh perspective. While not every idea presented in the book may resonate with every reader, there are plenty of takeaways that can be applied to a wide range of situations. However, it's worth noting that some readers may find the author's writing style and approach too irreverent or flippant. Additionally, the focus on economics and data-driven decision-making may not be relevant to readers outside of these fields. Despite these potential drawbacks, Think Like a Freak is a worthwhile read for anyone looking to expand their problem-solving toolkit and approach challenges in a more creative and effective way. Conclusion: Think Like a Freak is an entertaining and informative book that teaches readers how to think creatively and apply economic and statistical principles to solve problems in everyday life. The authors, Dubner and Levitt, use real-world examples to illustrate their points and provide readers with a practical guide for thinking differently. They encourage readers to embrace failure, to experiment, and to be willing to take risks. The book is well-written, engaging, and easy to understand, making it accessible to readers of all backgrounds. By the end of the book, readers will have a new perspective on problem solving and will be equipped with the tools they need to think like a freak. Overall, this book is a must-read for anyone who wants to improve their critical thinking skills and approach problem solving in a new and creative way.
Thank you for taking the time to listen this book summary. We hope you found it informative and thought-provoking. Don't forget to follow DY Books on social media to stay up to date on our latest book summaries and releases. Thank you once again and see you in next video.